Most producers think they're not improving because they need better samples, better plugins, or another tutorial. But in my experience, it's almost never that. The producers who improve the fastest aren't necessarily the most talented. They've just built better habits throughout their journey. Today, I want to share with you the 6 biggest reasons why I see producers stay stuck, and more importantly, exactly what I'd do instead. If you're new here, my name's Miles, and on this channel, we break down exactly what makes great house music work. And if that's your thing, consider subscribing below. So point number 1 is going to be trusting the process. One of the biggest reasons why producers don't improve is because they expect progress far too quickly. Nobody sounds professional after 6 months. It's just not possible. And the producers that you're comparing yourself to have thousands of hours that you'll never see. This includes the bad tracks, the failed tracks, the ones that never got finished. And people don't fail because what they were doing wasn't working. They actually fail because they gave up before it had time to work. And here's what I do instead. Judge your progress every 6 months rather than every week. And keep every finished project rather than deleting them. And every 6 months, go back and listen to something you made around that time. And you might actually critique your own work. And that will be a reference to see how far you've actually come. Remember, improvement isn't obvious when it's day to day. It's obvious when you zoom out. Point number 2 is going to be consistency means finishing. 30 minutes of producing every single day is going to beat 10 hours every 2 weeks, every time. This is when improvement compounds. But here's where a lot of producers get stuck. They're consistent at starting tracks rather than finishing them. Every finished track will teach you more than what 5 unfinished tracks will, because finishing tracks forces you to solve problems. That could be arrangement, transitions, energy, mixing, mastering, and these are things that you never face when you just stay in loop mode. Here's what I do instead. Separate your sessions by creating and finishing your tracks. Have one project where you're free to experiment and one project where you dedicate yourself to finishing the track. Even if it isn't release worthy, you have to make a promise to yourself that you're going to finish the track. And set yourself a target. Maybe have a finished track every 2 weeks. Maybe 2 tracks every 1 week. The point is you want to set realistic goals, because every finished track will teach you something that your next one is going to benefit from. Point number 3 is going to be removing friction. This is probably the most underrated point in the whole video. Most producers don't struggle with creativity. They struggle with friction. You sit down, you check Instagram, open YouTube, watch another tutorial, browse your sample packs, organize folders, spend 20 minutes looking for a synth preset, and suddenly, before the paintbrush even touches the canvas, the idea is gone. Creativity hates friction. The longer the gap between having the idea in your mind and getting it into your door, the more likely you're going to lose the magic. Here's what I do instead. Reduce the distance between an idea and your door. Have a default template. Have your favorite sounds ready. Organize your sample library once, and you'll never have to do it again. And for the first 30 minutes, don't watch tutorials, don't check your phone, just make music. And protect those first 30 minutes. They're usually the most creative part of your session. Point number 4 is going to be studying music properly. As producers, we all listen to music and we love making it, but very few actually study it. And that's a huge difference. Instead of asking yourself, why do I like this track? Ask, what's the hook? How does the energy build? What happens every 8 bars? Why does the drop just feel so satisfying? Why does this bass line groove so well? And one of the fastest ways to improve is recreating the tracks you love, because suddenly you have to understand every decision that that producer made. And here's what I would do. Every week, choose one track, listen to it 2 or 3 times, and identify what you love about that track and what sticks with you the most. It could be the arrangement, the drums, how the synths interact with each other, the bass line, anything. Whatever it is, isolate that part of the track. There's useful tools out there where you can split the stems and you can drag that audio into your DAW and try and recreate it that way. You could do it just by ear, and try and recreate them as accurately as possible. It's really easy these days to actually recreate certain tracks. Just pick one thing that's memorable to you in those tracks, and I can guarantee if you start recreating it, you'll start hearing things that you've listened past for years. Point number 5 is going to be learning from other producers. One of the biggest mistakes that producers make is trying to figure out everything alone. Every producer has a blind spot, even me. Sometimes another producer can point out something that you've completely missed in 30 seconds, whereas it's probably taken you hours or days even. And that's why feedback matters. That's why collaboration matters. And that's why, most importantly, community matters. And if you make dance music, I'd actually encourage you to try to start DJing, even if it's just at home, because it completely changes how you hear arrangement, energy, and transitions, and what actually works in a dance floor. So here's what I'd do instead. This week, send one producer a track and just ask for feedback on one specific thing. Rather than asking, what do you think of this? Ask them, does this have enough energy? Does this bass line groove? What do you think of my drums? The more specific the question, the more useful the feedback becomes. Point number 6 is going to be stop comparing yourself to others. This is the one I hope you remember. You're comparing your chapter 2 to another producer's chapter 10. What you're seeing is their finished releases. So you're only seeing one side of their journey. You're not seeing their hundreds of sessions, their failures, their late nights, or the years of work behind them. And comparison isn't what's going to make you improve faster. We have all been there. And honestly, it just makes the process feel a lot harder. So here's what I do instead. Just compare yourself to one person. And that one person is the producer that you were 6 months ago. Ask yourself, am I writing better drums, better bass lines, better arrangements? And if the answer is yes, then you're winning. The producer that you want to become is the one that's built one session at a time, not one comparison at a time. So if you take one thing away from this video, let it be this. You probably don't need another plugin, and you might not need another sample pack, and you probably don't need another secret technique. You just need better habits. Remember to trust the process, finish your music, study great tracks, learn from other producers, and keep showing up. Do that consistently, and I can guarantee you'll be amazed at where you are in a year from now. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you dropped us a like and subscribed. I'm curious to know which of these 6 have been holding you back in the past. Let me know in the comments below. If you feel like your tracks are just missing that last bit of energy, you should check out our other video on why your house tracks sound good but feel flat. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.